Hey guys, this is Jehu Ryder. It's December 1st, 2013. I was going to post a vid last night and just one thing led to another and I didn't get it done. So I do want to do a quick vid on something that I came across yesterday when I was looking at some raw data on the SDO cameras. Um, I thought it was kind of interesting. I wanted to just bring it up and leave it for open discussion, see what you guys think. Before I get started, let me just say that let me give you a status on ISON. Here's the position of ISON right now, and this is at about 5:30 or so. Not quite 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on the 1st of December. ISON is not doing very well, you guys. It's getting pretty dim. It's continuing to dim. And also, it does appear, I made a comment in an earlier video that a lot of the community was saying that it did appear fragmented, and I saw a couple of images that they were producing, and it did look fragmented, but I wanted to pull some of that raw data myself and take a look at it, and I would agree at this point that it does. It does not appear to be intact, and I'm not sure if it's going to get together or not at this point. I don't know what that's going to mean for the month of December. You know, we were supposed to have a really good show pop up for the Northern Hemisphere in December, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Now, I could be totally wrong, and ISON might surprise us. You know, ISON's been surprising the hell out of us, at all of us, for the past year almost. So just gonna, but I'm just letting you know that's the status of ISON right now. But to kind of get back to what I really wanted to talk about, and guys, I know I'm harping on the SDO cameras a lot because it's really irritating on what's occurring with the SDO cameras and what occurred with it. I have no idea to this day what's going on with why we couldn't see the comet come through on the SDO cameras, whether it was human error and they didn't have the cameras positioned right, or if it was something else altogether. I don't know. I'm not implying anything by that. I'm just simply saying something obviously failed and something went wrong. And I'll get over it. I'll eventually get over it. Maybe not tonight, but I will eventually get over it. So, but with that said, something clicked in my mind yesterday that I don't know why it didn't click before, but it's it was kind of surprising that it just now I kind of figured this out. But let me show you something. Remember the GSFC website, and I'm sorry, I still have a cold, guys, so if I start sniffing on the camera, I apologize, or the video. But on the GSFC website, obviously we had about 3 to 3.5 hours of frames that were with 4 SDO cameras. They were all supposed to be able to capture ISON. At least that was the plan. That did not happen. Now, there is one camera that was during the perihelion stage. It was the 131 camera, and it did have an object that looked very bright. I to this day, I do not believe that that was ISON. I don't even believe that it was a fragment of ISON for a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons, though, is that ISON was, it looked reverse, or the object looked reversed in the camera, and that it was going in the wrong direction, in my opinion. And I still believe that it was not following the projected path. Now, and I'm kind of basing that off of what we know the field of scope is for these cameras. And when you kind of calculate that based off of the location of the object and where the sun was, the atmosphere of the sun, it doesn't look like it was in the projected path to me. I could be wrong. But nonetheless, I don't believe that it was ISON or even a fragment of ISON. Now, I know some people have a different opinion about that, but hey, I'm just saying. But the reason why I have this up here, and this happens to be a 131 camera too, but it was during the departure stage. I want you to take a note of the time here. The timestamp, it says 2018-58 UTC. That is the very last frame that we get on the GSFC website for the SDO cameras. Now, I want you to keep that in mind because I've been looking for the last 2 or 3 days. I've been looking through these data sets that were on the GSFC website, and then something clicked on me last night. You may remember this image right here, and this is not the exact image. This is a different, this image here is from a different time, but it is 99.9% obviously in the exact same place here as the image has been floating around the internet. Just was taken at a few minutes earlier, maybe by 20 or 30 minutes earlier, somewhere around there. But this is ISON approaching, and then it disappears, and then here's ISON reemerging right here. So this is ISON after it had survived perihelion. It had, which just, perihelion is just, it made it around the sun, and it reemerged. Now, so you're probably familiar with this image. It's one of the common images that have been floating around to kind of prove that ISON did survive. Some form of ISON survived. But I was thinking about that, and something came to mind. I knew that image, this LASCO C2 image, was a little bit further out in time compared to what we were seeing on the SDO cameras here on the GSFC website. So I went over to check out the raw images from the SDO cameras that were after 2018 UTC. And none of them looked promising. I mean, it was kind of the same thing we were seeing on GSFC. But then I found a frame on the 131 camera, and I found this. And this is at 20:43:27 UTC time. Now I want you to take note of this right here. There's a little fragment of something, a little object, and then this little area right here. Something came popping out of the sun at this time. So when I noticed this, now remember this image is in reverse, and it had to be because the way the cameras are positioned between the SETI cameras, the SOHO cameras, and you got the SDO cameras. So what I had to do, I went back on to HelioViewer and I pulled LASCO C2's camera images, and I put in the time 20:43:27, which is the same time that I had seen this little object right here. And I wanted to see, I knew that we were going to be catching the image of ISON reemerging, but I wanted to see exactly what was showing at this time. And this image is from LASCO C2 at 20:43:27. And I was looking at that, and then I was looking at this. And I want you to notice the similarities. I am not saying that this is ISON. I'm not saying that it's even a fragment of ISON. However, what I am saying is that if we're going to talk about an object that may have shown up on the SDO cameras that could have been ISON or a fragment, this is probably a very good candidate for it. Let me just kind of blow this up a little bit if I can. And the reason why I think that this is a good candidate is look at the location of this. It's not right on. It's not right on, but it's close. Now, we know for ISON that it followed pretty darn close to the projected path that NASA predicted it would take. And it was just a little bit tiny off during the approach. And the only thing I noticed that was somewhat significant and kind of wondered what is it going to do was when it reemerged, it looked a little bit wide to me from the projected path that NASA said it was going to take. According to the model, it was more assumed it was going to kind of come out this way right here, and it looked like it had taken kind of a wider arc at first, as you can see right here. Now, what ISON did do is that it did go up and it did kind of turn to the right, and it followed the path, the predicted path exactly. It wasn't 100%, but it was pretty darn close for a bunch of humans doing some data crunching and presenting a model for a predicted path. It was pretty darn close to exactly what ISON did. So with that in mind, and I look at this, it's not right on. It's a little bit closer in than it should have been, because remember, the sun is more in this area right here. This is just to block out the sun so that we can see the objects around it. So, but looking at this looks like to me a better candidate. So I went ahead and I went to the other cameras to take a look and see if at that time frame to see if the other SDO cameras picked it up. And I didn't see anything. Remember, the SDO cameras that was on the GSFC site was the 193, the 171, obviously the 131, and the 211. On the 193 camera, at exactly the same time, as you can see, we can't really see anything here. Now remember that the SDO cameras, they all have their own particular temperature that they're taking these images at, and that's probably the reason why we're not able to see the object on here, whatever it is. So keep in mind that what this camera is able to pick up at a particular temperature, this is looking at a totally different temperature, and it just wasn't able to see the image or see the object there. Here's the 171 camera. Same thing. Can't see anything there. 211 camera. Same thing. Not seeing anything there. So again, I think that's a temperature issue more than anything else. Again, am I saying that this is ISON? No. Am I saying that it's a fragment of ISON? No. But I am thinking that it's a better candidate for a possibility that it may have been a fragment that came off of ISON as it had its encounter with the sun as it was trying to reemerge there. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm leaving it open for discussion because, again, I could be totally wrong with even saying that it could be a good candidate. But just throwing it out there, guys. Love you guys. God bless you guys. Keep your eyes on the skies. Take care.